right, and we are back. Awesome. Welcome to BMC, the rep, and me. It's a mouthful as well. BMC, the rep, and me. Today we got Jimmy with us from the University of Alabama. For a lot of people, they just abbreviate Bama. If you say Bama, Jimmy, I think everybody knows what you're talking about. Correct?
Oh, correct. Most definitely.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Jimmy, before we get into questions about University of Alabama, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in admissions, how long you've been in Alabama, any fun facts you want to share would be great.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, so I've actually been in undergraduate admissions for about 8 years. Um, I'm originally from the Northeast, but new to the South and um, fairly new to Alabama. So I've been in Alabama for about a year and a half now. So I just finished up or in the middle of my second cycle with UA. Um, and then I'm a regional recruiter for Alabama. So Alabama has a large out of state presence, specifically, in the Carolinas, South Carolina. So my main territory is South Carolina. So any student that's applying to UA from South Carolina, I would be really their first point of contact and their regional recruiter as well.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. For those watching, Jimmy and I have connected with our roots in Jersey, and which is kind of nice on that end of it. A lot of the kids in South Carolina are wishing that they have what you're going to next week, which is that white fluffy stuff.
That's right. Yeah, moved
Yeah,
down south to get away from the snow. So definitely very happy to be here, but originally from New Jersey. Yes.
absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. Cool. Well, we're gonna jump right into some questions about Alabama. A lot of our kids when they're looking at schools, they have their list of things that they're looking for, and we're gonna get into some of that. I think one of the biggest pieces outside of academics and major is location. What's the campus like? What activities? What are some things that they can look forward to when they're not in the classroom? So, looking at the University of Alabama, what's campus life, clubs, activities, things like that, and even if surrounding areas, like what can students do while they're on campus or at school?
Yeah, sure. So, the University of Alabama, we're located in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So, it's very much a college town, but it's a small town. So, there's 100,000 residents that actually live in Tuscaloosa, but everything is kind of centered around the university. For the total number of students, there's 42,360 total students at UA. So, we are a large, flagship institution in the state of Alabama, but there's 35,600 undergraduates. Um, so a lot to do on campus, and in surrounding areas as well. So we have what's called the Strip on campus. It's where all of the student hangouts are. Bryant Denny Stadium is one of the largest football stadiums in the country at UA. So that's right on campus. A lot of restaurants, student hangouts, coffee shops, boutiques. Right there off campus. But as far as on campus, so we have 650 clubs and organizations on campus. So really anything that you can think of from cultural clubs. We have recreational, we have 3 rec centers on campus. We have the Black Warrior River that runs through campus as well. So a lot of outdoors activities in Tuscaloosa. Lake Tuscaloosa is close by too. So our students can rent kayaks, things like that. So there's a lot of outdoors activities going on as well. But 650 clubs organizations, we have Get On Board Day each year in the fall and the spring semester. All of our clubs and organizations are on the quad. We do have one of the largest quads in the country, as well as the Southeast, about a 12-acre quad. Um, a lot of ways to get involved at UA, cultural clubs, academic based clubs. We have a lot of honor societies on campus, depending upon your college and major. We have 12 colleges and over 100 undergraduate majors at UA. So a lot of academic clubs, recreational clubs. Obviously, everyone knows us for our big time SEC sports as well, which we're very proud of too. But a
You're
lot
okay.
to do, outside of athletics as well.
Yeah, love it, love it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, University of Alabama is okay. I won't jump on the 3 losses and they still make the playoffs. We won't go there. We'll start that conversation.
Yes, the playoff
Yeah,
committee definitely treated us well this year. But yeah, big game with Oklahoma, so we'll see on Friday.
should be fun to watch for sure. It could go one way or the other. I mean, Alabama's history, I think, speaks for itself. So getting that bid could go one way or the other. But their history and their team, it's all good on that end of it. When students go for a visit, I always tell them to go in town, grab a local spot, grab a sandwich or get something to eat somewhere and see what the town's interaction with as far as student body, like how are you received? I know this is probably a no-brainer, but especially with Alabama being as big as it is, and I mean just across the nation, the support for Alabama as it is.
Mhm, sure.
That being said, when students go into town, how are they received? The surrounding body, uh, locals, how do they treat the students within the area?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so our prospective applicants and our admitted students, we definitely welcome all students to visit. Whether you've applied and are admitted, or you're a prospective student just generally interested in UA. Maybe we have a specific program that you're interested in, or you're just coming for a game. I would say all of our families and prospective students are very well received around campus. We have our Randall Welcome Center, which is one of the, I think, one of the nicest welcome centers in the country. It's newly renovated. It's a 15,000 square foot facility there. But in Tuscaloosa, our campus body and our staff, they definitely want to help our prospective applicants with recommendations. In the admissions office, we have lots of recommendations, places to eat while you're in Tuscaloosa. Um, it's definitely you can navigate it well as well. So it is a very walkable city. You can really walk the campus in 20-25 minutes. But we have our Crimson Ride system as well that gets students around. Um, but yeah, campus staff, faculty, current students, they definitely welcome visitors to Tuscaloosa and the Alabama campus as a whole. Um, Yes, from we get a lot of visitors from South Carolina too, just to kind of give you some perspective. So from this past year's class, we had about from South Carolina, excuse me, we had about 1,400 applicants from the state of South Carolina, and roughly about 1,100 admits. So we get a lot of visitors to the University of Alabama from South Carolina. Yes.
Those are good numbers. I
Mhm.
was even thinking about the numbers perspective, and I like that. I think it helps, especially students when they're applying out of state. A lot of them are like, "Well, I mean, what are my chances of even getting into the college?" So looking at that numbers, you said 1,400, and then 1,100 of them were admitted.
Yes, correct. Yeah, so I would say our acceptance rate kind of going off that is 71%. So, we are competitive, but yeah, we do see a lot of applicants as well. But 71% acceptance rate for it is competitive out of state, but that is our acceptance rate there. And yeah, so we are growing. I've been at Alabama only 2 admission cycles, but yeah, we have seen growth even in that short time.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are really good numbers. For anybody watching this that are looking at like acceptance rates, when you're in the 70s, especially looking out of state, that's that's really good. So I can't overstate that as it is. Looking at that acceptance rate and then as well as your application as a whole, what are some things that you look at regarding the application? What are some things that stand out? And maybe even with that, what's some advice you could say like, hey, students should maybe focus on this, or I've seen this and you could really stand out if you did this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we take the holistic approach to our applicants. So we're going to look at everything that you submit to us, in the admissions review process. I would say the main piece of the application is that transcript. So that official high school transcript, we're going to evaluate your courses from the freshman year through that junior year of high school. We'll see what you're taking in that senior year, those 7th semester grades as a senior high school. But those don't factor into the application. But yeah, I would say academics is one, kind of the rigor of your courses. We evaluate courses, college prep, all the way through, AP, dual enrollment. But we do look at everything. any volunteer experiences, if you hold a part-time job, that definitely holds weight within the application process. Any extracurricular activities, that's going to factor in as well. So at UA, actually, we don't look at for admissions requirements require an essay um, at UA. So no essay or letter of recommendation to the university. And we are test optional through this class, fall of 26. So you don't have to submit your test scores. But I would say, definitely applying early as well. We are rolling admissions, but definitely doesn't hurt to apply early if UA is one of your top choices too. We'll read the applications as they come in. Actually, our first round of admissions decisions this past year went out right after Labor Day. So, students can be admitted. You can apply really as early as August 1st, and you can be admitted right after Labor Day. So you'll know, if you have all the credentials, if you're admitted early, too. But I would say strong extracurricular activities. Just give you some averages. So we look for a weighted GPA. So weighted GPA 3.88 is the average from this past year's class and cycle. If you are submitting test scores, again, we are optional, but if you do submit your scores, so a 30 on the ACT and a 1270 on the SAT. So that's a composite score. So from one exam of the critical reading, writing, and math sections. So I would say academics is one, but kind of the full application, we do look at everything as well. So any extracurricular volunteer experiences too, any academic clubs as well. And then if you hold employment too. So we are going to read your full application, whether you apply via the UA undergraduate app. So there are two ways to apply. So the UA undergraduate app and the common application as well. And we don't have a preference. So whatever the applicant decides is what we'll look for.
Good stuff. A lot of students ask this question in regards to extracurricular activities versus part-time job, and some students are making a choice, and obviously most of them are choosing the job because of the money aspects, whether it be they need to make money for home or whether it is the fact that they just want to make money on that end of it. If a student isn't as involved in school, but they have a part-time job and they're working on that end of it, does that way help? How do you look at that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, do what you're really interested in. Um, I would say one doesn't have any more weight than the other. You know, I always encourage students to do what you're really passionate about and what you're interested in, because that's really going to come across in the application as well. So definitely pursue your passions and do what kind of leads to whether that be your academic interest or your personal interest. I would say we don't weigh one or the other any higher, but we do look at everything as well. So definitely pursue your passions, and that will come across to the admissions team in the application.
Awesome, love it, love it. 42,000 students. I would imagine you have quite a number of, not imagine, I know you have quite a number of programs. And so students can take just about anything they want to take at the University of Alabama. A large institution like that, that's the beauty of that, is you can go to school and enjoy things and still have your major. That being said, top 3 to 5 majors, what would you say, would be, those top majors that most students are coming in looking at?
Yeah, sure. Great question. Yeah, so we have 12 colleges at UA, and then we have 100 plus undergraduate majors. I would say the most popular colleges are Culver House College of Business. So within business, marketing, finance, business management are probably the top three. Um, Engineering is very popular too at UA, so we have very strong engineering program at College of Engineering, aerospace engineering. So we have some connections with Huntsville, Alabama, where students can have some field work there and internships. So aerospace engineering, and I would say mechanical and chemical engineering as well within the College of Engineering. Um, and then also, I would say um, our College of Nursing is very popular, although um, very competitive. Our College of Nursing as well. Um, and then, obviously we have the BSN degree there, but a lot of students will go on for graduate work too. And then I would say our College of Communications and Information Studies there. You know, sports management is big at UA. That's actually a new major this past year. So there's about
Okay.
600 students within that undergraduate degree program, sports management, and then also media studies too, and communications.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean, here again, you just kind of hit all the different areas, which is nice. I mean, that's the beauty of a school like that, which is excellent. I love that. Um, when you're looking at internships or look at your majors, you're also looking at the opportunity for internships, co-ops, or those kind of things. What kind of opportunities do students have within the area?
Yeah, so a lot of students will get very involved with co-ops, internships, early on. Really in that freshman year, spring semester, into the sophomore year, over the summer. So we have our Capstone Center for Career Success. That's as a whole as a university. So any student, regardless of your college and major, would have access to that, where they could, work on resumes, work on job shadowing and training as well. Um, but yeah, you really get involved with those internships. I would say in the later years of your program, so the junior, the senior year of your program. So every student will have an academic advisor specific to their program. So you'll apply to UA, with your first choice college, and then also your first choice major. So we'll read students, you know, on that basis too. I mentioned engineering, so Huntsville, Alabama, it's not too far. There's internships there with NASA as well. Um, for communication, specifically sports communication. So a lot of students will work with our D1 athletics teams. Um, we have Crimson Tide Productions. We actually have a digital media center on campus. So a lot of those students, they build the athletics websites. So all kind of the back end there. Um, we have the Coach Oak show and the Coach DeBoer show. So that's all student run as well. So any communications major, sports media, they can get very hands on there. Right across from Bryant Denny Stadium, that's very popular with our football and basketball coaches. Just for example, our College of Education. So we get students in the classroom early on as well. So whether you're interested in elementary, special education, you want to teach at the high school level, maybe be a school counselor too. We get students, involved in the Tuscaloosa schools early too, through any of those uh, teacher certification programs.
Love it. Love it. That's awesome. Back to that community involvement as well, which is great on that end of it. 42,000 students. Of those 42,000, how many live on campus? And with that, is there a requirement for freshmen to live on campus?
Yes, great question. So 27% of students will live on campus. It is required as a freshman student coming to UA to live on campus. So we have a wide range of residence halls and dorms. Different styles of dorms. So you'll be in traditional style housing, suite style housing, or apartment style housing. So we have about 30 to 35 residence halls on campus, and you'll be on campus in that first year. So 27% of students will live on campus. Generally, we do have some upperclassmen housing, once you reach sophomore status, but generally you go off campus. And we have a great off campus team as well that works with students. Our off campus housing is actually right around the school. So if you've ever been to Tuscaloosa, it's right within walking distance. So about, 5-10 minute walking distance from the school. That's university sponsored housing as well. So whether that be in a single family home with a few roommates, or you'll have generally an apartment off campus. So that's all university sponsored too. Um, as freshmen coming in, you'll be on campus though for that first year.
Okay. Love it. Love it. What's the student to faculty ratio?
Yeah, great question. So we are a big school, obviously the flagship University of Alabama, but 19-1 is the student faculty ratio. Um, so we have those larger lecture halls, generally that first year, through our Built by Bama Gen Ed curriculum. The freshman year, the fall semester, you'll have some larger courses there. But actually 48% of our classes are 20 students or less, if you can believe that. So it does get smaller as you kind of progress through your program. Once you get through the freshman year into the sophomore year, and you're taking more major specific courses, maybe some higher level courses within your major, the class sizes definitely do get smaller as well.
That's awesome. I mean, it's nice. You got the large side of it, but then also you break it down into a smaller piece where you get to know your professors or faculty members, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. And our Built by Bama curriculum, that's actually something new this past year. So that's new for, fall 25 going into 26. So students actually have the choice of 80 electives that they can choose from, kind of based off their, personal interests, maybe off their academic interests as well, based upon their major or the college that they're in, that they can really choose from. So that's something that, our administration and faculty, they want to implement this past year, to really kind of blend, obviously you get the big research school at UA, but the smaller liberal arts as well. So you kind of get the best of both worlds there, which is great. Definitely very exciting for students.
Love it. Love it. So we're gonna say the last, the best question for last. Probably the one that the parents I know are probably a little more worried about, if you will. Um, that would be the financial side of things. So
Sure.
talk a little bit about tuition, what the tuition is. Room and board, you could do the whole number if you want to, or break it down. And then the scholarship side of things. What does that look like?
Yeah. So finances is obviously what all parents want to know and talk about. So out of state tuition is 34,500. So this is again, remember before any scholarships, financial aid, which I'll get into in a little bit. 34,500 is the out of state tuition. There are 800 fees as well. That's for the academic year. I'll break it down by each section. And housing. So housing is 9,600. So you could divide that by two. So 9,600 for the full year. The plan is 5,300 a year. So generally, that's the full meal plan. So the all inclusive meal plan on campus at UA. So the direct cost before any out of state scholarships financial aid is about 50,000. To be exact, 50,458 is the direct cost for out of state students. No student really pays that cost. We have a lot of out of state scholarships available to students, and our scholarships. So we have university merit scholarships. We have automatic merit scholarships. So when you apply for admission to UA, your application is your scholarships application. So you don't need to submit an extra application. You're in consideration for these scholarships when you apply for admission. So they're called automatic merit scholarships. Now, students applying for automatic merit, they have to submit test scores. And kind of the minimum to be considered for one of these automatic merit scholarships is a 1250, I would say, on the SAT, and then the ACT about a 25. So, you know, again, if you're applying, you'll submit your test scores to the College Board, include the US school code, and then we'll have your test scores there, and you'll be in consideration for the automatic merit scholarships. Now, we also have competitive scholarships. Again, you're in consideration for competitive scholarships when you apply to UA. You don't need to submit an extra application or anything to be in consideration for those. So, competitive scholarships, we do look at your grades, your Common Core classes as well. But that's more the holistic approach. We're look at, as I mentioned earlier, all those extracurricular activities, any leadership opportunities that you're in, whether in the high school or outside of school, part-time job. Those are competitive scholarships, and those really range from 6,000 a year up until tuition. Um, and now students are notified of their scholarships. I believe be similar um, to next year as it is this year. So you can apply early, but just know that there is a little bit of a delay within the scholarship notification. So scholarships are going out in February this
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Um, you know, we have great automatic merit, and those the automatic merit range from 6,000 all the way up to tuition as well, and then as well as the competitive scholarships too, 6,000 up until tuition.
Okay. Love it. Some really good opportunity. I mean, when you look at that price tag in the beginning, 50K, you're like, sticker shock. But it sounds like there's some really good opportunities for students to bring that cost down and to make it affordable, which is nice.
Yes, definitely. Yes. So, almost all of our students receive an out-of-state scholarship, through that university merit scholarships, and then financial aid is big as well. So about you know 75% of students receive financial aid award package at UA too. You know, all included financial aid and scholarships. You definitely get that cost down on a per semester basis.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Jimmy, I really appreciate the time. I know I probably hit you with some questions uh off topic, but you know, I appreciate the information. Anything that I haven't asked, any other insights or tidbits that you think would be beneficial for our students and parents?
Yeah, I would say definitely get out and visit campus. I didn't really mention that, but there's a lot of ways to visit UA. I'm the first point of contact at UA for all students coming from South Carolina. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I definitely want to be an advocate for y'all in the application process to UA. The first step you can visit, even if you're not admitted. I would say the junior year. So the spring of the junior year is a great time to visit. I actually plan all the visits as well. So if you want to see a specific college at UA, say you're interested in business or nursing or communications, I would be the one to kind of set up that in-depth visit, as we call it at UA. I think that's probably the best visit opportunity and most beneficial as well, because you're basically a UA student for the day. But get out and visit campus. And definitely reach out to your regional recruiters. And roll tide.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Jimmy, I appreciate it. I know this is the busy time of the year for you guys. So thanks for just taking the time for us. And safe travels for the holidays.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays.